Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the protest tradition in the state of Tennessee. And we have with us to talk about the earlier parts of the protest tradition in the state of Tennessee, Alana McLaughlin. And of course, Alana, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank
and
you.
I don't think that we have to tell our audience anything about you, because this is your second time being with us. And the last time you gave us such an excellent show that the fans that you claim that you got out there actually wanted us to bring you back. And of course, we're delighted to have you. What we'd like to do today, Alana, is to have you to talk about what we consider to be the early protest tradition in Tennessee. And we say that primarily because quite recently there was quite a bit of protest at the state legislature, and we want you to say something about an earlier period and talk about some of the individuals who were involved in protest earlier in the state of Tennessee.
Well, I recently saw in the newspaper that Bill had that some people were trying to change the law that some slumlords have to go to the governor, but to get a house and to make one, but they're trying to change the law to say that they can make a house and do whatever they want to without that. And personally, I think that's wrong, because they can do bad stuff in the house if they make it. And personally, I don't want that for our Tennessee and Nashville and Lebanon and Antioch.
And so you would approve of the folks gathering in the state of Tennessee. And I say that because some people have said that, well, this is not Wisconsin, and therefore we don't protest in Tennessee. But tell us about some of the earlier protests that people did in Tennessee, leading to separation and segregation.
Well, I recently, another thing I saw in the newspaper was that that they were debating on if the laws would let college students carry guns on campus. And I don't really think they should do that.
You don't like that law?
No, I do not.
Why would you oppose that?
Because personally, if somebody was carrying a gun on them and maybe they were a heavy drinker, maybe they got mad for some unknown reason, and maybe they shot somebody, and that would be trouble for them, it would be trouble for the victim, and it would be trouble for Nashville, because that would start spreading from everywhere on and on.
And so you're against having weapons on college campuses, and I think that that's a good position and a good sound position to take.
But if it's on, if it's self-defense, I would approve that. But if it's for bad use, I would not approve it.
Now, you know, there are a number of other things that have occurred dealing with the teachers' union. As a matter of fact, we've got some folks who are coming up after you to talk about the teachers' unions and unions, period. A gentleman from the AFL-CIO, as well as another activist like yourself. What do you think about the unions and teachers in this time?
Well, I recently heard from you that Bill Haslam, our current governor, was trying to pay teachers less than they're usually paid. So he's trying to cut down the salary of teachers, and because of that, some teachers may get very angry, and some teachers may quit their position as a principal or a teacher or a guidance counselor, and it would cut down the teachers, and it will be bad for some students who didn't have the education they needed because there were less teachers than expected.
Now, you're big on this education as an activist, and people often say that perhaps that little girl, 8 years old, might not be able to read. Why don't you tell me something about your reading experiences to dispel that idea that somebody else is giving you information?
Well, reading is basically the one thing that helps you live. If you were in segregated times, such as Martin Luther King's time, let's say that there was a black and white area of drinking water. If you didn't know how to read, you would not be able to read that you weren't supposed to go to the white area, and you weren't supposed to do that, and God knows what the police would do to you.
And of course, Lana, I think, and let me tell you how much we appreciate your input in reference to this. And we've got a couple of gentlemen that will come on, and this is about the end of this segment, but we've got a couple of gentlemen who will come on and who will give us essentially the same kind of information, but it will be within a different context. And they will talk about the AFL-CIO as well as the African American Cultural Alliance. But we think that the contribution that you've made by simply telling us what has gone on in reference to protest, you simply mean that protest is still alive and well in Tennessee, and we hope that many of the others will follow your example. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another part of this program. Thank you.